I did. I told you I took the class.
You did, yeah. You said Josh taught it. Okay, so here we are for episode 69 of Theater School Rejects.
Did I get 69?
You got 69. Lots of people wanted it, but you got it.
I'm gonna ruin all the intellectual credit I just tried to give up. I get excited about getting 69.
You can enjoy fucking dick jokes and be an intellectual.
All right. Well, maybe this keeps going.
Kevin Smith proved that. I was actually thinking, I was wanting to talk to you. Oh man, it's like, see, I actually see very much eye to eye with you in a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously we disagree on a bunch of stuff, but like we disagree from a place of like understanding, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like we've read the same books, we got different opinions on them, but like I recognize your points and you recognize mine, where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Which is actually a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
But
we could do that politically.
But you can't.
No.
Well, that's what I was kind of talking about. Is like I put my post on Facebook. I said I've whittled down the qualities I'm looking for in a partner to just 2 qualities: intellectual honesty and a great pair of tits. And I posted that in a dating site, well, a Facebook dating group. To interesting results.
I have to say, I'll say this is the crudest thing I'll probably ever say.
Go ahead. This is the place for it.
In my very small selection of girlfriends, I have had an absolute wonderful track record with tits.
Right?
By never mentioning them. I never bring it up. Don't know why. And it happened.
Wait. So, okay. Well, I can't say I've had a uniformly perfect, experience with tits, but I do greatly appreciate that in a partner. And it's been a deal breaker for me is inverted nipples.
Inverted nipples.
Oh man, if you ever come across a girl with them, it's brutal. I'm like, no, we're not gonna deal with that. And I'm like, I'll put a bunch of other things, like there's 3 or 4 potential deal breakers. I looked over them, and I was like, oh my god, I got you topless. That's weird. Yeah, my nipples are inverted. Yeah, I'm sorry, we gotta stop this. I gotta go.
Well, I think trade-off. I have an abdominal penis. You know what that is?
What?
I have an abdominal penis.
I don't want to know. I think let's just move over that. All right. So you have a thing.
Yeah.
And you got so you got to be understanding. And I am like I told you I got bad back, bad knees. I have to be understanding too of people's limitations, but that can go so far.
Yeah.
I mean, like you just got to have a deal breaker, whatever they might be. I
think mine is mean. I don't like meanness.
But like someone who either doesn't understand their own ideas,
right,
or who will like say things that aren't true or like pretend things aren't true in order to win an argument is intellectual dishonesty. And I can't truck with that. Or lack of self-awareness, which is similar, because if you can't be honest if you're not aware of what you are, believing.
You know what I don't like is there's this sort of backhanded way of intellectual shaming where and it's the worst. If someone does this, I'm like out of the fucking conversation. I'm gone. Where like I'll say something, and like obviously I get paid to pontificate on fucking Marvel comics or whatever.
Right.
But if I say something like contemplative,
yeah,
and then someone goes, "Wow, you think a lot about this shit." Well, usually I just thought of it then when I was talking to the person.
But if you didn't, of course I think about things.
Yeah, like why don't you? Like why don't you? Like what the fuck is going on in your head that you're not doing this?
A lot of people don't.
Like, it doesn't have to be about, like, you don't have to have deep thoughts about the shadow. I'm just saying, like, have deep thoughts about fucking anything. It shouldn't be an alien concept to you.
Well, it's intellectual curiosity, which is also a thing. Like, people like badmouth intellectuals, and I certainly did myself for a while. Yeah. But, like, I realized that, to me, what I define as intellectual is someone for whom ideas are important, who enjoys discussing ideas.
Yeah. Like, that'll do
and that, I can't date someone, or at least I can't really have a relationship with someone who doesn't enjoy discussing ideas.
Yeah, I can't have conversations with them because, like, what am I talking about then? Like, you haven't thought about anything. What am I going to say to you?
Yeah.
Like,
and you can't.
Friends was good last night.
It can't all just be sex. It can't be sex 24/7.
Yeah.
And at least not once we hit 30. So, I date some dumb girls.
Well, as we discussed off mic, I'm the dummy in most of my relationships.
You said, but I don't know if that's true. But
she's very smart though. She was great. She played sax better than me too.
Oh man, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, that's great. she was fucking a dream, dude. Like, there's no real like. I peaked early. What happened there?
You're better than me at everything.
She was a ballerina. She like did long distance.
Oh my god.
Super smart. Fucking played sax better than me. Played the flute, which I can never really get the hang of.
A flautiste.
Oh man, she was.
So like, how did you meet her? Wait, we're getting far afield. That's a different podcast.
Through the saxophone.
Okay. Yeah, so it's about intellectual curiosity, and to go with that, an intellectual honesty is a thing that's important to me.
Yeah.
Where are we? So, but like I do have thoughts, and you've heard me talk about Alpha Flight,
Right.
and like I would think about that, and I think about like Marvel, and like movies bother me.
Yeah.
Like especially like, okay, look, I'm willing to suspend disbelief.
Right.
Up to a certain point. Like, I'll buy the God of Thunder exists,
Right.
but I won't buy that he's staying on the roof of a fucking spaceship traveling 300 miles an hour, but Ares isn't a thing, and he doesn't fucking fall off. And I was like saying, I saw another friend who like invoked the rule of cool. I was like, fuck the rule of cool. Okay,
Right.
look, make a concession to me. Show him like digging his toes in and like the spaceship buckling as he puts enough
Right.
pressure with his feet.
Because
so like,
there's laws of friction. Like there's no.
yeah, like if he was like, okay, he's super strong. All right, so his toes can like exert 3 tons of force. Okay, show the spaceship buckling, as he digs in, into the metal, 6 inches deep with his fucking boot or something, right? But no, he's standing there, not a fucking problem, and the Valkyrie's standing right next to him. Like, fucking that doesn't work. And it's not cool to me. That's not interesting at all to me to see people fucking. Which way you go?
Destroyer.
Joyriding on top of a spaceship, going 500 or 1,000 miles an hour. Like, or
My big thing with fitting the God of Thunder into the comics is that people are still like gobsmacked by other shit. And that doesn't
Wait, they're not gobsmacked by what?
like, okay, this happens big when you read the whole Marvel universe. I was a big Ghost Rider fan, and every once in a while in Ghost Rider, he's like, his Ghost Rider's thing was to just drive through like poorly populated areas because he's like a cursed person.
Right.
And so he'd go by like a speed trap or some shit. And a cop would go like, oh, should we call this in? And he goes, no one will believe us. He's like, bullshit, no one will believe you. The literal God of Thunder is in a public fucking superhero team that meets on top of a building in fucking New York. Like, you would see that even if you lived in Bumpkin, fucking Iowa, or wherever the fuck he's fucking riding his bike, you would see that, and at best you'd just go, oh, that's one of those New York weirdos. I ain't gonna deal with that shit. We're not paid enough for this. Call the fucking Avengers. I don't give a shit.
Right, that would make sense.
Yeah. And it doesn't happen that way. And it does in the MCU. They did that in. I'm gonna spoil Runaways because I don't give a shit. At the end of.
I'm not watching it.
At the end of Runaways, or towards the end of Runaways, they realize they've been talking to an alien. They get all excited, like, "We made contact. Aliens are real." It's like, bitch, aliens invaded New York in your timeline. Like, come on, man. You know the aliens are real.
Yeah, well, I think that might be because like the writers aren't fucking superhero comic fans.
Yeah.
And so like they don't think of it as in the context of the Marvel universe. They think in the context of like, the world they live in.
But they did name drop Wakanda, and they hinted at the fact that she's getting her powers from Dormammu.
Well, because they fucking have to.
Right.
That wasn't coming from them. It was like, insert this in here.
Connect to the wider universe, please.
Like, I don't know. Well, little things to me, like fucking when Power Man, I was watching that on Netflix, and he pulls out like a fucking bright yellow shirt,
Yeah.
which is a callback to the fucking
He
70s
got
Power
the
Man,
full costume.
and he throws it out. He's like, fuck this shit. And I'm like, don't shit on the fucking 70s. That's where you fucking come from. Who do you think is watching this shit? You think the people who are fucking fan of his fucking 2000 fucking graphic novel read by no one?
I think with Luke Cage, they're walking, because that's a pretty blaxploitation outfit. They're
Yeah.
walking a thin line. But the fact that we got the full costume for a minute was kind of cool.
But they shit all over it. Like I could say, okay, yeah, say tempted, but nah.
Right.
270s,
Yeah.
like, 5 years ago, or he puts it on and be like, what the fuck are you wearing, Jack? And he's like, no, this isn't working. But they just shat all over. He's like, no. And he's just like, this is whack. And I'm like, what the fuck? I love that outfit. I get what you're saying. They're kind of like maybe trying to call back to it.
Right.
But like, I stopped watching right there and there. I was like, fuck you, don't shit all over my nostalgia. What the fuck you think I'm watching? I want to hear you say Sweet Christmas. I want to see you eat pizza.
He did
I
say
want
Sweet
you...
Christmas.
Yeah, he did say Sweet Christmas. But
The one that bothered me was the Iron Fist.
I watched like 2 episodes. I want to like it.
They didn't even hint at the costume. And then they did in the second season where they put the helmet out. for a minute and then didn't. And I was like, come on, man. Give me a second.
Go ahead, man. I'll stop the podcast. All right, we took a little pause. We're back. So we've been shitting all over Netflix, but because I loved Heroes for Hire. I was about fucking 12 maybe, and I read all those comics. And I fucking was so sad when Iron Fist died. I wanted to beat the shit out of somebody. It was so fucking stupid the way he died. They fucking cured him of radiation sickness, and then some fucking little kid who turns into a superhero beat the shit out of him. Yeah. It was dumb. It was meant to be dumb.
I had just started reading Power Man and Iron Fist like a year or two before Iron Fist got killed. And it was a period where I felt like I was killing everybody because I started reading Power Man and Iron Fist and he dies. I started reading Cloak and Dagger and that got canceled.
Well, because the fun comics were experimental, and they took chances, and of course they weren't mainstream, and more often than not they died. Yeah. But I didn't know at the time because I fucking came into comics and it was already a thing. Right. But I went back and found back issues for like $1 or $2 because they were cheap. Right. And I was able to trace, Power Man before Iron Fist joined.
Books were like fucking, you could buy them by the pound and shit.
Well, I was not quite that point because they were in the boxes. Right. But old X-Men might be $9 a comic or $10 a comic for like 5-year-old X-Men. Right. But Power Man and Iron Fist was fucking at a convention you want 5 for $1? Yeah. Because that was not a market driven.
Right. Those are the titles I like. That's how I got into Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider was cheap because no one gave a shit about Ghost Rider. He's such a hard sell because
he's got 2 movies. Yeah. Nicolas Cage.
And they're both terrible.
I know. How much does that hurt?
It hurts so bad. So bad.
Like you get that. Well, oh man, I felt that way. Oh, so one of my favorite books. Right. My favorite books is On Stranger Tides, written by Tim Powers. Okay. Do you know who Tim Powers is?
I don't.
All right. Well, if you want to read science fiction, it's fucking just amazing. Sure. Tim Powers. Okay. He says what he thinks of is he takes a story and then he adds with the part that's in his head, which always thinks about, which is fucking weird dead people. He wrote a couple books that are about Las Vegas poker and weird dead people. Right. And he was he knew Philip K. Dick at some point. Oh wow. And I met him at a convention.
I like the record store he worked at.
And so he wrote On Stranger Tides. And I met him at a convention, and some fucking hack screenwriter who was writing the fourth installment of Pirates of the Caribbean was like, oh, well, we wanted to do a story about the Fountain of Youth, and it turns out if you want to do the Fountain of Youth and Pirates, you got to buy the rights from this guy. Really? But we're not really using any of the story. I'm reading this article in Esquire or something. I'm like, you fucking hack. Tim Powers has more writing talent in his one finger than you have your whole fucking body, but you're upset because you have to buy the rights just so you can tell the story you want to tell, you hack piece of shit. And so I saw the convention. I was like, look, I saw the movie because it was your book, and there was nothing of your book in it except Blackbeard, and that's it. But I saw it, and I was like, but on the other hand, they wrote mermaids the way I think you would write mermaids. Have you seen the movie? Yes. All right. So he often does that. He'll take a fucking some trope and make it horrific. Right. And fucking mermaids with fucking huge jaws eating people out of nowhere. Right. Fucking with making keening sounds like fucking banshees was a thing he might have done. And I told him that, and he's like, look, I bought a very nice house with the money they gave me to buy the rights. And so I hope anyone else out there wants to buy the rights and use nothing of my stories, give me a call. Yeah. And I don't know how much that's true, how much is being funny, but he ended up, I had him talk 15 minutes at the convention. And then I think you might understand this too. Sure. It's I told him one of his obscure books that was out of print was one of my favorite, but I couldn't think of the name of it. Right. And he's and he gave a title, and I go, no, that wasn't it. and he wrote the book, and then I was and he goes, oh yeah, it was released under one title, and then it was re-released on a second title, and I was remembering the other one, and it was The Sky Discrowned was the name that I was remembering or trying to remember. Oh, okay. And he was some other thing, and But he's like, literally no one has mentioned that book to me in 20 years. So I really appreciate this. But I like the idea that I'm so fucking committed. When I think I'm right, I'll tell the fucking author of the book, no, that's not wrong. The title. But it wasn't. I was right in my way, but he was also right in his. And
that way different contexts.
So, he was saying the sky is crowned.
Right.
And the version I read was forsake the sky.
Oh, okay.
And so they were different. But he explained it, and I actually found it under the old The Sky Is Crowned title for Kindle. But I can't let it go. Like, I can't concede to the fucking author. Which reminded me of the back to school thing when he gets the author of the book to write the paper, and the English teacher gives it an F. Had no idea what the book was about.
Or I guess Woody Allen's out of book, but that is a great. Annie Hall.
Read Annie Hall. That's I saw the movie Annie Hall, yeah.
Where that he's discussing I can't remember what the author is. But he's discussing some dude's work, or there's some dude's discussing his work, and he's really misinterpreting it. And Woody Allen's fantasy is to be able to pull the author up and go,
"Oh yeah, I see
nothing of my work."
Yeah. But it's the way around. You saw Back to School, right? With Dr. Dangerfield?
Yeah.
He has the money, so he hires the author to write an essay or a paper about his book, and the teacher flunks it.
Yeah. It's a little Roland Barthes death of the author philosophy there, I guess.
Well, talking about playwriting, I really want to talk about playwriting, which we actually have 3 minutes, 2 minutes left in the podcast. So we got the podcast again, which I hope so. Well, you live right here at Flappers, and I don't mind driving up because I know the VW van has a limited range at this point.
You never drive further than you want to be towed back.
True that.
I got into playwriting by accident. It was I had taken a class.
Yeah, you wrote a screenplay that was actually a play.
Right.
And so then did you stage the play?
No, what happened was I was like, they said that this is a play, and I was like, haha, good. And I just walked the fuck off. I didn't care.
Right.
Because I was a music major. Nothing I did mattered. So
cheerful nihilism.
Yeah. At the time, I had no phone, nothing of any kind no way to get a hold of me at all.
Yeah.
And so over the summer, the teacher called me at work. I was working at a record store because I was a musician, so nothing mattered.
So when did you take this class?
In community college.
No, the comedy class.
Oh, the comedy class. I took that Saturday.
Just this past Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so now you're going to go up?
No. God, no.
But you took the class.
Yeah.
Well, you won the class, so I suppose it didn't cost you anything. But why not do stand-up?
Because I'd be terrible at it. I think I would be awful.
What would it matter?
It's different with the saxophone than it is with comedy.
Well, you can't stand on a street corner and do comedy and get money.
Right.
Well, theoretically you can if you chuckle at the same time. But I've thought about that, because there are people who do their stuff in Santa Monica Plaza and stuff. Is there a way to do a street theater where you can make money at it?
There's other buskers that make way more money than I do.
But they're doing musicians. Can you do stand-up comedy as busking?
I think you can, yeah. I think you probably could.
But it'd be hard.
It'd be super hard.
Because you could just play and people walk by, or you can juggle if people walk by. But to just be talking is.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got the balls for that.
Yeah. Well, you have to get that overcome where people think they're approaching a street preacher.
But you could also do plays. You could do short scenes or something.
Absolutely, yeah. There's groups that exist by that. Theater Everywhere and the other spontaneous theater projects and shit.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, the guy calls you on the phone.
Yeah, she called me up. She called me up over the summer at my job, and I was like, "What?" Because I had just taken a class from her. I wasn't a major or anything.
Yeah.
And she says, "If you turn that stupid screenplay into a play, I'll put it on stage." And I was like, "All right." And so I changed a few things to make it an actual play and not a screenplay. And when I got back, what had happened was because when I had the class, I had the screenplay was read in class.
Right.
And so in order for that to happen, we had to kill a few trees and print out a bunch.
Yeah, because that was the
It was the 90s.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of copies of my screenplay around. And what had happened was that actors were auditioning for the upcoming theater projects.
And they were using it as an audition?
Using my monologues.
Yeah. Nice.
And so the teachers were trying to figure out where these monologues came from. And I was like, me? And so that play got put up. And it was popular. It wasn't necessarily a good play, but it was very popular because it was like we were talking off mic about finding your audience, and
Yeah.
it was about stoners not getting off the couch. Like, the play was called The Potentially Great Adventures of Captain Sedentary and Stationary Lab.
I think you told me about that.
Yeah. So it was, it really was just...
And has it been staged since then?
No. I actually lost it. I don't know where it is anymore. But it was popular. I thought that was kind of fun, and so I wrote another one, but I kind of didn't think I had to work at it. And so the next one sucked. I was like, oh, this sucks. So I actually tried with the next one, and I got a Kennedy Center Award. And the next one was very popular, and that got some awards. And I wrote a short, and I got some awards. And I got more and more awards just farting out plays, and I ever had done playing the saxophone. And so I was like, I probably should switch majors. So I...
Did you ever make any money doing plays, though?
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice.
No, I mean, I made I made a token amount of money. Like, money has come to me, but it has never been the deciding factor in whether or not I can, like, buy a TV.
And I'm all shitting on that. Like, the fact that you got all these awards is great.
Yeah.
And I'm jealous. I'm jealous because my writing's never gotten any awards.
It's fun.
And so I have to compensate by, like, my writing has gotten me money. Like, I got $1,000 from Amazon, a couple years back.
I got laurels. I got someone emailed me laurels. That was kind of neat. Across this way.
I should have this way. So that's just me being jealous, dude. I want to be very clear. But so I became a playwright this way. My first play that I wrote was in the OC Weekly. They had a playwriting contest.
Oh, really?
And I saw it like advertised like the Thursday. The deadline was like Monday. So like over a weekend, I hand wrote a play because I hadn't started going to Cal State Long Beach yet, so I didn't have access to a computer.
Right.
I was like in between. I had been kicked out of California Maritime Academy, and I was about to start Cal State Long Beach. So I had no computer, so I hand wrote a fucking play in about 2 days, and I sent it in handwritten.
Nice.
And I got a form letter back, but I got in pen because they used to have a theater critic, Joel Beers.
Okay.
And he hand wrote. He goes, "Great dialogue, great characters. Find a play to put them in."
Oh.
And I treasure that.
I got a note like that from the professor. I was at the graduate level by the time it happened. Because what happened, my plays were always very successful. Not successful, very, very popular with people I'm writing them for.
Right.
That sounds really braggy, but...
No, but it was.
You
had an audience.
Yeah. So, I would be, teachers would take an interest in me, which was nice. But I was sitting there and I was talking about a new play I was working on. And the professor smiled at me for a second and goes, "You know what you should do next?" I was like, "What?" You should write something with a plot.
But I mean, I knew the guy was right. Like,
yeah.
But for a fucking handwritten thing that I sent in over a weekend to get some kind of personalized note on that, like, made me feel really good. And again, I was about to start a playwriting program, and they canceled the playwriting class the day, like a week before they started. And all of a sudden, I was in a theater thing, and I hadn't wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a playwright.
Right.
Because I was like...
Being an actor's an asshole. I thought that's
well, I mean, I know what I look like.
Right.
And, like, even when I was, like, in shape, and I was in shape, right? I was still ugly,
That was the biggest disappointment. I was like 100, I was 310, 50 pounds.
Yeah.
I lost 120 pounds. I was like, I still look like a dope. Now I'm a hungry dope.
Well, on our bitching about weight, but I think that's a great quote. I was a hungry dope. All right, you can find me, DougXComedy.com. You can find Ryan by contacting me, existentialstandup@gmail.com.
Crash Ryan Twitter. I barely ever update it, but that's most of the time if I'm doing something, I put something on Crash Ryan.
Crash Ryan on Twitter. All right.